I think we all might have run into at least one situation when we're playing where maybe we just missed that check that we really needed to make. Maybe we didn't hit the monster at the opportune time in order to try to save the party, or maybe we went down and there's no way of us coming back from death. Well, Pathfinder has something in it called hero points, and hero points are a special fortune effect that are available in Pathfinder 2nd Edition. They can allow you to re-roll and even come back from a dying condition. But they have a couple rules and a couple things that make them special and allow you to be heroic. So my name is Don. I'm trying to be the Sly Strategist, and let's go ahead and get into it. If you're playing Pathfinder, you're trying to be a hero, and if you're the game master, well, you're trying to guide a party of heroes, and therefore you should have hero points, something that allows you to be special, to do things again, or maybe not die. Well, hero points are that thing, and they're a fortune effect that really allows you to go above and beyond in these type of situations. So let's talk a little bit about hero points. We're going to start out with just awarding hero points. So the game master is responsible for awarding hero points. Each character usually receives 1 hero point at the beginning of the session, and that's pretty much the recommendation, is at the beginning of a session, everyone should get 1 hero point. Now, hero points generally don't last from session to session, but of course that is GM discretion. Now, additional hero points can be earned by performing heroic deeds. These are usually selfless or daring things that you can do that are well beyond the normal expectations in any type of normal combat or situation. However, once again, all this is up to GM discretion. Now, one thing that is not up to GM discretion is the maximum limit for hero points. And this is designated on the character sheet and in pretty much any virtual tabletop that you're going to be playing with. But the maximum limit for hero points is 3 at a time, and any remaining hero points are lost at the end of the session. Since they're lost at the end of a session, you should use them. They can be useful for a bunch of different things. Even, let's say you're at the end of a session and you still hit the monster, but you didn't get a critical hit. Well, you can try again. Now, you could also miss by doing that, but who knows? So let's talk a little bit about spending hero points. So hero points can be spent in one of 2 ways. Now, none of these are required. In other words, if you were to go down in combat, you don't have to use your hero point. If there's someone in your party that can bring you up, or if you want to sit out the combat until the combat is over because you feel your party can handle it, then you don't have to spend a hero point. Also, you don't have to roll if you get a critical failure. You are not required to do it, but you can spend hero points even if you can't act. So these do not take an action and can be used even if there is no way for you to act, such as being unconscious or in the dying condition. So you don't actually have to be active as a character in order to use them. And you can also spend a hero point on behalf of a familiar or an animal companion. However, they do have to be attached to you. You can't really use it on someone else. Now, there are 2 basic options for spending hero points, but they cover a broad range of things, especially the first one. And this first one is you can spend 1 hero point to reroll a check. You would use the second result regardless of whether it's better or worse. So you can't roll and then use a hero point and say, oh, my first roll is better, I'm going to go ahead and do that. However, this is a fortune effect, allowing only 1 hero point per check. And a little note about that, I'm going to go ahead and bring up fortune and misfortune insert up here, but you can only have 1 fortune or misfortune effect on a single roll. So you can't use a hero point and then use another hero point, or you can't use a hero point and then use something like halfling luck. They're both fortune effects, and using both of them on the same roll isn't really allowed. But there is an interesting little bit of information in the fortune and misfortune insert that I just kind of want to highlight is if both a fortune effect and a misfortune effect would apply to the same roll, the 2 cancel each other out and you roll normally. So you could keep that in mind during your play on how you could potentially use your hero point. Now, there is another way in order to use hero points, and that would be to avoid death. Now, there is a little special thing about using this in that you have to spend all your hero points, minimum of 1, but if you have 3, you're going to spend all 3 to avoid death. When you do that, it stabilizes you with 0 hit points without gaining the wounded condition. However, if you already have the wounded condition, it's not going to make that go away. It just prevents you from actually incurring another instance of the wounded condition. So in other words, if you were at wounded 1, you wouldn't go down to wounded 2. You would just stabilize without going down another level. But you still have that wounded 1 attached to your character. Now, there is a little something, and I love doing it for role play, but you should be describing your heroic deeds. So spending hero points usually reflects doing a heroic thing. After all, you are heroes, and players from a role playing perspective should describe the task that they accomplish when they spend that hero point. Now, it could be influenced by your story or adventures you had in the past, even a running joke, but it should be something that describes why this is a heroic thing if you choose to do it. Now, players can collaborate with the GM on describing their deeds. Now, you don't just get that hero point at the beginning of a session, you can earn hero points. Heroic deeds earn hero points, and they provide good fortune or preventing death, like we've already explained. Hero points last, once again, for just a single session, so use them or you lose them, and they do not persist like other character aspects. Once again, a GM discretion does apply. However, in general, if you're doing rules as written, they go away at the end of a particular session. Now, there is a little bit about GM core that explains how you grant them, so let's go ahead and kind of cover that a little bit so both game masters and players know how this kind of works. So hero points are granted and used on a per session basis once again. At the start of a session, each player character receives 1 hero point. So everybody's going to get one at the start of a session. Now, additional hero points can be given during the game, especially after heroic moments, accomplishments, good role play, things like that the game master considers fantastic or heroic. Now, typically, 1 hero point is given for every hour of play after the first by the game master. The game master should basically be giving out hero points to encourage people to use them so they don't try to bank them in case they go down and need to bring themselves back up. Now, hero points can be awarded for brave actions, protecting innocence, strategic brilliance, or any type of spell that maybe has a huge impact on a particular combat. These are the things that you would give hero points out for. But also keep in mind that you could do it for good role play. Maybe someone really did well on their diplomacy explanation and not even the role, and you could give a hero point for that. Now, it is essential to ensure that every player character does have opportunities to earn hero points. And basically, this means that if you like to give out hero points for fantastic actions in combat, well, maybe you should do a little bit for diplomacy, or maybe an intimidation check, or maybe if someone just role played something very well, keep it in mind that while you're giving out 1 hero point per hour, don't just give it to one character. Try to disperse it along the party. Now, hero points can be given for pretty much anything that the game master determines, and they don't have to be the most impactful thing of the whole entire session. And this is something to keep in mind when you're trying to spread the hero points out so that one character doesn't get favored with the hero points. But it could be things such as just landing the killing blow or succeeding in some type of diplomacy or social challenge. Now, the party can also gain hero points for any major accomplishments, typically awarded to the player character that was probably the most instrumental in achieving them. Hero points are that fortune effect that really allows your player characters to feel like they can do things heroic. They can take chances, they can take risks because they have a way to maybe try again or maybe to do something different. So hero points should be given out, and don't be afraid to kind of spread them around. Now, I do hope you like this little video on hero points. They are a fantastic fortune effect. But once again, remember that you can only have 1 fortune effect per die roll, so keep that in mind. Now, I do hope you like this video, and if you did, feel free to like, subscribe, or hit that notification bell. But whatever you do, I hope you have a great day and happy adventuring. Thanks.